Hey guys, and welcome back to Double Survivor 2 Record Breaker. So we just finished up the battle with Miyako, and we're gonna go and see what Canopus is, which is the creator of Miyako. So let's go check it out. So everyone gathers in the command room at the Tokyo branch.
So, it's cool if we use the Tokyo branch for our headquarters now?
Well, the rightful owner of Gyps is finally back, so I would assume so.
Pretty sure the Gyps guys from before thought we were, traitors.
Well, we're not.
There is no need to worry. I have told all Gyps agents that you are once again cooperating with me. I'm having the agents focus their attention on defending civilians from demons and moving them away from the void.
Alright, so Gyps will handle all of that while we handle saving the world.
We appreciate everything they're doing. It's good to know we aren't turning a blind eye to the less fortunate, even when Canopus is our priority.
Of course.
There is no need to thank me. My purpose, my duty to protect humanity has not changed.
Then, there are questions I have for you and Alcor.
Alright, the Yamato interrogation has begun.
So, what are they?
Please, ask me anything.
AMA.
First, what exactly is Canopus? We'll need to understand that before we can devise a plan to deal with him.
At this moment, Canopus is the most powerful and dangerous enemy that humanity and this world have ever faced. All I know of Canopus is what I have learned from Miyako Hotsuin. Perhaps she should be the one to explain.
Alright, so even something... Basically, it is the administrator of administrators in this world.
Very well. I will answer any questions you have about Canopus.
Let's hear it. What exactly is Canopus?
Canopus is a control system that oversees the Akashic Record and the administrators.
Right,
The
okay.
administrator manipulates the astrolabe in the Akashic Record in order to control our world, past, present, and future. Let us call that concept the administrator system. When the system is struck by an error too far-reaching to be amended by the administrator, Canopus steps forth.
Alright, so he has to fix something that an administrator wouldn't be able to do.
He is the divine order of the universe itself, the final line of defense for the colossal structure of the Akashic Record.
What in the world could have activated that thing this time?
I believe it's because a being that was not a true administrator, namely me, regressed the world.
Alright, so because an administrator didn't actually... an administrator, in air quotes, regressed the world, the true overseer set to fix it.
We regressed the world and Canopus woke up?
Correct. Only an administrator may make such a sweeping change to the Akashic Record. As I am not a true and rightful administrator, Canopus could not ignore my actions.
Alright.
So he must have awoken when we defeated Polaris. And he's been interfering with this world ever since then?
Not quite. Until now, Canopus has shut himself down twice and reactivated twice.
For what? Because the triangulum?
Let me see. Would you like me to explain what has happened in this world regarding Canopus up until now?
I would love it. I would like a detailed explanation, please.
Understood. This all began when we defeated Polaris.
Alright, so that's when we took the administrator powers away from her and gave it to all of us.
I divided her administrative authority amongst each of you.
Correct?
Then, I began manipulating the Akashic Record to regress the world.
Alright, that's what we devised and that's what we agreed upon.
However, because I was not a rightful administrator, my manipulation of the Akashic Record was perceived as an error. That action triggered Canopus's awakening. He began to attack me as I attempted the regression. Shining One, you may not remember, but you shielded me from his attack. However, in your selflessness, the attack from Canopus began unraveling your data in the record.
Which means my data in the Akashic Record was corrupted, and which was why Yamato had to stay there to keep me from disappearing.
Nevertheless, you bought me enough time to finish the first regression. In the new world, you did not exist, for the damage to your data was too great.
So that's why he wasn't there in the second world.
At the time, I had no idea about the existence of Canopus or what had truly happened to the Shining One. After the regression, there was no more need for me to manipulate the Akashic Record. Therefore, Canopus ceased his assault on me. After, Canopus still registered the lack of an administrator as an error, and so he created Arcturus. He also created Spica and Denebula, so that Arcturus would have its swords. Canopus then ceased his activity, concluding that all errors had been amended.
So, Canopus created the Triangulum? I had no idea.
Wait, does that make Miyako part of the Triangulum?
They are instruments of death, crafted by the divine order of the universe. The second world began with the creation of the Triangulum and the disappearance of the Shining One. In the second one, you fought the Administrator and its swords without the Shining One's leadership.
Right, which almost destroyed the world.
After the dreadful final battle, you managed to repel the invaders. Yet, the world was all but destroyed. Everyone save Yamato Hotsuin and myself had been lost.
Hence the dream?
Yamato Hotsuin and I decided to regress the world once more, but in order to restore the Shining One's data, Yamato Hotsuin decided to remain in the Akasha Stratum. He managed to resurrect the Shining One in the third world. However, in exchange, Yamato Hotsuin was lost to us.
Okay, and in his place was Miyako.
Sensing the world was undergoing another regression, Canopus stirred once more. However, I was able to complete the second regression before Canopus began his assault on me. But as I was not a true administrator, the Triangulum were reincarnated once more.
Makes sense?
As a further measure to safeguard the system, Canopus shut down all functions of the astrolabe.
To stop more regressions.
All that remained was the restoration function that Yamato Hotsuin was directly manipulating. In order to rectify the error, Canopus created Miyako Hotsuin to fill the absence left by Yamato Hotsuin.
And that is why I possess this duality, both human and non-human, created by Canopus. That is the story of his resurrection, the creation of the Triangulum, and the disappearance of Yamato Hotsuin. Once Canopus concluded that the errors were amended, he again shut down. And that brings us to the current iteration, the third world. And once again, you have all defeated the Triangulum.
Alright, that's where we're at now.
This world have eliminated several administrators. Canopus has changed his perception of humanity. He has concluded that humankind is an error, outside the capabilities of an administrator to fix.
Therefore, Canopus is going to do the dirty work now and take on mankind.
The moment you defeated Arcturus, my creator activated once again. This time, to eliminate the fatal error within the administrator system. Humanity itself.
Where the error?
Canopus is the force behind the spread of the void, and the one keeping the astrolabe shut down. Judging by the current rate of expansion, the void will completely envelop the world. By tonight.
By tonight.
Well, that is the entire story up until now. Did you understand all that?
Could you repeat it once more? I got it. Thank you.
In that case, I suggest we plan our response right away.
Let's do it.
You're right. Let's get to it. As I see it, we have two main problems. Canopus and the remaining administrators. Canopus is our first priority. If we don't deal with him, the void will consume the world. If we can stop him, the void will halt as well, and the astrolabe should reactivate.
Allowing us to regress the world once again.
Then, we can restore this ruined world through another regression. However, even if we are able to defeat Canopus, other administrators may invade in the future. Isn't that correct, Miyako?
Yes, unfortunately. Polaris and Arcturus weren't the last of the administrators. There's a long line of beings ready to take their place. Airi, Alfirk, Alderamin, Deneb. Each has a number of swords that serve them. We are frighteningly outnumbered, to say the least. Humanity has eliminated 3 administrators. They surely perceive us as a grave threat. It is likely the other administrators will come in the near future in order to purge humankind.
We'll bring it.
Frighteningly outnumbered. If that's the case, do we even stand a chance? We only barely won against Arcturus and Polaris. Yes, we will have to deal with them in time,
But
for now we should focus on defeating Canopus and reactivating the astrolabe. Maybe we can find a solution to the other administrators once we have the astrolabe. But either way, we need it. The astrolabe is our only hope to restore the world.
I agree. However, we cannot discount Canopus's power. He is the divine order of the universe itself.
we're going to have to defeat the order itself.
We're mere pawns before the order that he governs. He is far too powerful an enemy.
Arcturus and Polaris were formidable foes, but Canopus is even more of a threat than they.
Not only that, first of all, Canopus does not exist within this world, or even within the Akasha stratum.
So how do we deal with that?
He exists completely beyond our realm. Furthermore, he is beyond the concept of death itself. His body is immortal. Canopus is an eternal entity. He will never cease to function.
So he has no body, he can't die, immortal.
Eternal entity. Do you mean to say those things that attacked Chief Yamato in the Akasha stratum? Those invincible creatures didn't appear in the app's database. Do you know anything about them? Are they related to Canopus somehow?
If they weren't in the database, you likely faced shards of Canopus.
Okay, so those are just a little piece of him.
Even if they are just fragments of his being, they too are invincible.
Sounds about right. Those things were troublesome.
As I have said, Canopus is the divine order of the universe itself. He is forged of the 4 prime factors: heat, gravity, space, and time. Those 4 factors make up the world as we know it. Hence, fighting Canopus means fighting the world itself. There is no way to defeat such a being.
Why can't we?
Let me explain it this way. What happens when one tries to set fire ablaze? Nothing. And fighting water with more water? Equally pointless. The only effective pairing is to match fire and water against each other. Canopus is made of the factors that govern the physical world, so he has infinite defenses. He can negate any attack. At the same time, his own attacks are always fatal to those who would oppose him.
So how do we deal with that?
Therefore, we must acknowledge that Canopus is an invincible foe. Our only hope would be to somehow gain dominance over the 4 factors that he controls.
Okay, so we have to get space, time, heat, and matter?
So, we need a solution to the following problems. How to reach Canopus, how to counteract his invincibility, and what to do with the prime factors he controls.
So it would seem. I should be able to find a way to reach him, so please leave that to me. If I modify the special terminal in the Sky Tower, we should be able to reach Canopus through that.
Sounds perfectly logical. I'm counting on you.
Excellent. In the meantime, the rest of you should search for a way to defeat Canopus.
However, even Miyako Hotsuin will require aid with an undertaking of this magnitude. Please, allow me to assist you.
Alright, so the 2... Alcor and Miyako will take care of getting to Canopus while we deal with the other 3.
Then it's our responsibility to find a means of dealing with Canopus and the administrators.
Alright, the invincibility and what comes with Canopus.
I am counting on you then. Please, help us to save this world. Alcor and I will head to the terminal. We should be able to finish the modifications before the day is over. Please call if you need me for anything.
The rest of you? You know what we're going up against. Let's search for answers.
Let's get those answers.
That's all. You're dismissed. Except you and Miyako.
Alright, so what are we going to talk about? The others leave the command room, only you and Miyako stay behind.
Good. The others have left.
What is it, brother?
Brother? Oh, Jesus.
Given some thought to our situation concerning the astrolabe and the administrative authority. Now, I would like the 2 of you to brainstorm with me.
I would, and gladly. However, I really should begin work on the terminal modifications.
That is certainly a top priority. However, if you have time to spare, I want to make use of your intellect.
Alright, so that's going to be one of the events that we're going to have to cover after, to figure out.
My intellect? Thank you, brother. I am honored by your kindness. All this time I had feared you hated me.
Do not think yourself too grand, Vixen.
Vixen.
You have your uses. That's the only reason I agreed to let you live.
Your
I do
uses.
not allow my emotions to get in the way of a mission. And that's the extent of your usefulness. Accomplishing the mission.
My usefulness? Now that sounds more like you. Let me get started on the modifications. And if there's time later, I'd love to help out.
Good. Then you are both dismissed. Do what must be done.
Emoto. You leave the command room. Alright. Holy crap, there's a ton of these. Alright, so let's go and do some of the events here. So, the first one is the let's do a path to the new world with Yamato. So you find Yamato and Miyako together.
Oh, good day. You
Hello.
have perfect timing. As the three of us are gathered here, perhaps we should continue the conversation we were having.
Exactly. So let's continue that.
I suppose we should. I want to talk about what we should do with the world after Canopus is gone. We need to find a way to stop an endless stream of administrator invasions.
Okay, so this is going on what else the prior to this conversation is about what we can do.
If only there were a way.
What about creating a new world? Let's make friends with them. We may have to accept our doom. What about creating a new world?
Just as we spoke of before. Use the astrolabe to create a new world.
Right, and they said, Alcor said that if we create a new world, the administrators would not attack us. For some other reason.
Create a new world. It would exist beyond the realm of the Akashic record.
Right, therefore, administrators wouldn't want to attack us.
In other words, it would not be under the control of the administrator system. As such, the administrators would no longer be able to interfere in our world.
Unfortunately, it would also be a primeval world, without technology or science.
Of course, so we'd be regressed all the way back.
Those would not be the easiest conditions for humanity's survival.
I agree. To abandon our world simply because we've been invaded would be the same as admitting defeat.
Alright, so that's out of the question.
That is hardly the most ideal path for humanity. If only there was a way we could avoid sacrificing all that we have built.
Ask the administrator to do it? Can we change it to a modern world?
I wonder if that's possible. Could we transform the primeval world into a more modern one?
Perhaps. But remember, in the new world, we wouldn't have access to the astrolabe.
You're right. If only there was a way to modify the world without the use of the astrolabe.
Administrative authority.
Yes, that might actually be possible.
Brother, what do you mean?
The administrative authority has the power to reflect one's will onto the world. This could be used to our advantage. What if everyone with the administrative authority wished for a modernized world?
Ooh, so we do the primordialized world, and then but we wish for a modernized world, therefore we get it. I think.
It just might be possible to overwrite the primeval world with our modern one.
By wishing for it.
That sounds possible. In theory, at least. But...
Yes, I know. If the new world is to be separate from the Akashic record, will the administrative authority even work? There's no way of knowing.
That's one problem. Moreover, I'm afraid the will of the 13 would not be enough to perform the overwrite. It would probably require all of humanity, billions of wishes, in unison. But even if we could orchestrate that, most of the population died in the Triangulum's invasion.
Right, it's just Japan at this point. Tokyo.
You're right. There aren't enough individual wills left in the world.
The 13 of us will do all we can. Those people remain in the record.
I see. Of course. Everyone who's died is still within the Akashic record. All of humanity's will yet exists, housed within the Akashic record. If we can transfer the administrative authority like Alcor did, maybe we can do it. We won't divide it 13 ways, but rather billions of ways, to everyone.
To everyone, and then the modern world would be created.
Then, we would have enough will to reshape the new world. What do you think?
Brother, that just might work.
Right. It just might.
Mission accomplished? Then what happens?
You catch my drift, yes? I believe this could create the best future for humanity.
You said you only kept me alive to help accomplish your mission. So will you execute me right afterwards?
Of course not.
Still holding a grudge, you conniving vixen?
Conniving, wow.
You call me Vixen, but whenever he is involved, you come wagging your tail like a good little lapdog.
Alright, glad you two are getting along.
We'll finish this later. For now, both of us continue to exist in this world. It may be a highly irregular situation, but there is nothing to be done about it.
Nothing wrong with it either.
In fact, having both of us might just work out in our favor. In any case, we need to hammer out the details of this plan further. Let's part ways and consider it some more. We're both dismissed.
Yamato strides off. Alright, let's continue on. So, the next one is called an ideal administrator. So, you find Al Psyduke at work on the terminal.
Ah, Shining One. My apologies, but the modifications on the terminal are not yet complete.
It's only been an hour, so, I mean, that's okay.
I was just thinking on how we shall put the astrolabe to use, once we have control of it, of course.
You got any ideas?
There are many options. For instance, you could use the astrolabe to create a new world, free from the administrators.
Right, which is what we discussed with Yamato.
If we are free from their rule, we would avoid any further battles with future administrators. But mankind would have to begin anew in a primeval world. Does such a thing tempt you?
Not really. I don't think that really would tempt anybody.
There are other possibilities as well. You could place a rightful administrator on the throne.
No, we want you.
You could use the astrolabe to transfer the authority from each of you to an administrator. However, it is possible that at some point in the future, another administrator will try to destroy mankind. If it happened with Polaris, it might happen again with another.
And it's happened twice already, so we can count on that. What if they don't attack us? What if they're on humanity's side?
It is unlikely. The administrators are very different from man. They do not think or behave in the same way as you do.
We can choose an administrator.
Designate an administrator ourselves?
Like you.
What an interesting notion, Shining One. To create a new administrator. I suppose it may be possible. By transferring the authority, we could turn a new being into an administrator. We could designate someone who would protect humanity, who would desire them to flourish, rather than Polaris or Airi.
Of course, someone who would want us to grow.
Once a new being is chosen as administrator, we can use Miyako Hotsuin's device to finish the process. We could transform the triangulum that she holds captive into swords for our new administrator. As long as we have the astrolabe, we could transfer administrative authority without the need for any sacrifices. That seems like a favorable outcome.
Why not become the administrator?
If I could repurpose my existence as a sword, I should be able to become administrator. But that leaves one large problem. In 2,000 years, when Airi comes, I will have to abdicate the throne. Since I was originally created as a sword, I must follow the rules of the system. The same holds true for Miyako Hotsuin, since she was created by Canopus.
Okay, so in 2,000 years, we'd have to deal with something, but God knows what's going to be happening then.
Beings born into the administrator system are bound by its laws. If we wish to ensure humanity's safety for all eternity, we will need someone else who will side with you.
So not you? Then who? Can a human pick? Can the human take a throne?
A human on the heavenly throne. An interesting notion, to be sure. It is true that humanity is not a product of the administrator system, and therefore not bound by its laws. One of your kind would not need to step down from the throne after their cycle is complete. Furthermore, what being would be more likely to take humanity's side than a fellow human?
Who should we choose?
Whomever you select will be guiding the fate of the world. This decision requires careful thought. A human being taking the throne as an administrator. It is certainly fascinating to consider.
You say your farewells to Al Psyduke and walk away. Alright, so we can choose a human. Preferably someone who's good, like me. Alright, so next up, let us go and talk to Yamato and do the sibling squabble. So, Miyako calls your name.
May I have a moment, please?
Of course.
You are searching for a present for my brother.
Indeed.
Mr. Shijima came around earlier asking about what would make Yamato happy.
What did you tell him?
I cannot fathom my brother enjoying anything. Still, I told Mr. Shijima perhaps he can take him to a foreign... Oh!
You vixen. What deceit are you putting into his head?
What the heck?
My tongue until now, circumstances as they were, but let me assure you, if you ever so much as think about devising another foolish scheme, make sure you regret it.
In full Yamato fashion, comes out guns a-blazing.
Brother, you may be adept at reading the dragon stream, but unfortunately, your skill in reading a rune is sorely lacking.
Mocking me, are you? I acknowledge your courage. As a reward, I shall kill you.
Oh, Jesus, Yamato, come on.
Well, I must repay such a generous reward. Now, let me think. How about I grant you the privilege to die a slow, miserable death of dehydration in the center of the vast Sahara?
Alright, these two. What the heck?
What did you say to me?
Or perhaps, oh, this one's delightful. You could drown in the crystal clear waters of the Aegean Sea. Lovely, no?
What's the meaning of this?
Well, anyways, I'm sure you're quite exhausted. What with all the fighting and regressing the world twice.
Are you kidding me? That's super tiresome.
Why not leave Gyps in my care and abandon your responsibilities as a Hotswing?
Wait, Miyako, relax. Relax.
Use the time you're given as a member of the human race to enrich your knowledge through practical learning.
Miyako, how dare you?
And after a suitable amount of time, do the world a lovely favor. Go off somewhere and die an incredibly gruesome death. Alright. Here I thought they were civilized, but they are both savage. Well then, I must away.
Miyako flourishes her cape, bows elegantly, and departs to repair the terminal. Yamato? Yamato keeps his silence. Miyako doesn't mean anything by it.
I'm fine. It seems we've wasted time we do not have. I must be going. Take care.
Alright.
Somewhere, huh?
Yamato walks away. Still brother and sister, so I mean, it's gotta hurt. Alright. Stage 4. You can now SDTP with Hiro Kageyama. Alright, next up. Let's see. By my own will. So you see Yamato deep in thought. What's the matter? Are you thinking about Miyako?
I've been considering what Miyako said to me. As head of the Hotswing family, I am unable to leave Japan due to my importance to its national defense.
But now you can.
In fact, I never even considered leaving the country in the first place. But what Miyako said was to go die somewhere else. Somewhere out in the world.
Alright, are you considering that?
That's the same as telling me to forget my position, deny my name, and be free.
I think that's a good idea. Is there something wrong with that?
No, I suppose not. There is one thing I would like to try. Does your offer to do something for me still stand?
Of course. It does.
This isn't because of what she said.
Alright. Let's not be 10-year-olds.
As I mentioned, I've never left Japan. And for better or worse, Miyako Hotsui does exist in this world. There may be fatal flaws with her personality, but her skill is nothing to scoff at.
Of course, she is quite good at what she does.
And I thought perhaps it wouldn't be a terrible idea to leave Gyps to her and go on a journey.
What kind of journey?
I'd like to go out on my own 2 feet and see the world that I, as Yamato Hotsui, have a responsibility to protect.
Ooh, so he wants to go travel the world. Let's go together.
Of course, my sworn friend. We shall always be together.
Oh my god, Yamato, what the heck?
I see. So that is what you wish for.
To travel the world with me?
Where did you come from? You're worse than the blasted demons.
I heard from Daichi Shijima that the Shining One wished to give Yamato Hotsumi a gift. May I accompany you as well?
Wow. We're gonna have the head of Gyps, some random college kid, and a god go travel the world.
Must you tag along?
Of course.
Just like him, I am also grateful for all that you have done. So please, allow me to join in rewarding you.
Do as you will. However, let me make this perfectly clear. There is no place for any of your suspicious powers during this journey.
All right, all right.
Do not practice walking.
Understood. We are to walk together as one, so it is a reasonable request.
They're gonna make him walk? A god?
Precisely. We shall travel by means of public transportation.
We're gonna be taking the trains?
That said, where shall we set our destination?
America? Wherever the wind may take us.
You're right. The future and all its possibilities are in our hands. That doesn't sound too bad at all.
It sounds like this will be a fun trip.
Of course. Indeed.
With the two of you, it is for that dream which we shall win this final battle.
Yamato looks at you and Alcor, his eyes filled with firm resolution. Alright, Yamato Hutsuin reached stage 5. In addition to the existing possibilities, you can now fuse Bal. Alright guys, but that's going to be the end of this. We went and did all of Yamato's social links, and we're going to do more leading up to our fight with, or our discussion really with the the Eternal Watcher. So look forward to it guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon.